is the image that keeps children up at night. It is the feeling that gives shivers to people when they least expect it. Snakes, spiders, skydiving are all examples of this pesky feeling that everyone has. It makes us cry for help, although sometimes we try to hide it. It is something known as fear. Fear can be anything, from avoiding roller coasters or having a meltdown near elephants. We all experience it, but what is the importance of feeling scared? We are going to look at the biological, psychological, and evolutionary perspectives of fear and the importance of overcoming them. So here we go.
F is for a word that automatically comes to our mouth when we are scared or surprised.
E is for that embarrassing sound that we never knew we could make.
A is the paralyzing scream we often hear. R is for the natural instinct to run whenever we encounter our fear.
What's your biggest fear?
Vomit.
Could you ever overcome it?
I've tried. It doesn't work.
What are you afraid of?
Aunt Jemima from the syrup bottles.
What's your biggest fear?
Chipmunks.
Could you ever overcome it?
Probably not. Ever since I got bit by one, I just haven't been able to get it.
Fear.
Bugs.
Could you ever overcome it? What's your biggest fear?
Centipedes. The depleting value of the US dollar.
The brain responds to fear automatically. It is a subconscious response that is triggered quickly. 5 parts of the brain work together to respond. The thalamus, the sensory cortex, hypothalamus, hippocampus, and the amygdala together, they produce the fight or flight response. Physiological effects of fear are very important. They are all motivated by survival instincts and adapted to help humans survive. The most common are the release of adrenaline to increase heart rate and blood pressure, and the release of hormones, producing muscle tension, pupil dilation, goosebumps, vein constriction, and increased blood glucose levels. Smooth muscles allow more oxygen to get to the lungs, and systems shut down to donate all energy to muscles. Much of the energy in the body is funneled into the muscular system, to prepare the body to react and survive. Over thousands of years, the system has been close to perfected to ensure the human a greater chance of survival.
Well, I tend to, when I was thinking of that question, I was thinking of Hans Selye's and the general adaptation syndrome and how it's our response to any time where we find ourselves in a stressful situation. And it's basically the 3 stages are alarm, resistance, and exhaustion. Basically, you will have a physiological response when you are afraid. Your heart is going to start beating more rapidly, your palms are going to sweat, you're going to have an absolute physiological response to the fear.
For this documentary, we each decided to overcome one of our own fears.
Hi, we're here at Ray's Bike Park, and today I'm going to try to overcome my fear. I've ridden almost every aspect of this park, but I can't seem to get my back tire up in the air when I clear the jumps. And I'm really afraid of getting that feeling of weightlessness, so today we're going to try to clear the jumps.
When I was biking, my heart raced and my muscles tensed up, making it difficult for me to jump and overcome my fear. But in the end, I was able to.
The jittery feeling and tension in the muscles is the body's preparation of the uncomfortable situation. This fight or flight response may have originated many generations ago in the human species with the cavemen. Cavemen had the intelligence of an animal with no civility, but they survived. We survived. If a caveman didn't feel scared in front of a bear or beast, then he or she would be dead and the human species would probably not exist today. Fear is a part of the human's natural disposition that helps us survive.
I'm afraid of camping outside in the dark. It's 10:06 and we're outside in a tent. I'm scared. It is now 1 a.m. and I haven't slept at all.
It was very hard to camp at night because you're just in a flimsy little tent and there's like coyotes out there and squirrels and all these other animals and there's trees and you're so vulnerable to nature outside. So I'm glad I did it, but I don't know. And I'm kind of proud that I slept outside, but yeah. it was hard. Although I struggled with my fear, some people actually seek out the feeling.
People who take pleasure from such exhilaration are defined as thrill seekers. They search for variety, intensity, and risk. One theory suggests that thrill seekers may do so because of a neurological need for the intense excitement. Another states that such excitement is also a great form of distraction, allowing a person to be relieved of their conflicts and completely focus on fear and excitement. Such intense emotions engage all of the senses, making people feel very much alive. My fear is jumping into the deep end of a pool.
You think it can? Oh my god, like seriously.
It's starting to rain. It's starting to rain. I have to go now. Yes.
I did not know I was so afraid of this. Oh my god, what the?
Yeah.
How do you feel, Julia?
I kind of feel better. That took a while, but I'm glad I did it. And I don't know if I'll be doing it again anytime soon, but yeah, I kind of feel better by myself. So.
Are you afraid of biking?
When I go biking, I am scared sometimes, but what really scares me is any skinny items. And ever since I broke my wrist, that's what gets me really scared.
How do you overcome that fear to keep biking almost every week?
To overcome that fear, it's just kind of something that you love to do, so you keep doing it. So.
Contrary to popular belief that people get a rush from being scared and are therefore attracted to scary movies, fear actually plays a very small role in watching horror films. Watching scary movies actually activates the visual cortex where images are processed, the insular cortex where self-awareness occurs, and the area of the brain where planning and problem-solving takes place. The three primary factors of the allure of horror movies are tension, relevance, and unrealism. We tense up during scenes filled with mystery, suspense, gore, terror, or shock, and directors play on this response. The idea of unrealism applies to haunted houses and other scary activities that people partake in as well. Since adults are able to distinguish what they are experiencing from reality, they are able to continue feeling terror and panic while watching scary movies and exploring haunted houses. This is why children experience fear worse than adults. They are unable to separate reality from fiction.
If a fear starts to conquer someone's life, it can cause health problems, such as obtaining an anxiety disorder or phobia. In some cases, people want to avoid fear and therefore become fearful of feeling fear.
There are other biological impacts as well. When people are afraid, their body experiences the effects of stress. In the face of a threat, the endocrine system releases hormones that activate the protective systems and shut down systems that are not crucial for survival. In the long run, this process weakens the immune system, increases cardiovascular damage, decreases fertility, and damages areas of the brain including the hippocampus, where memory is stored. While the body is built to adjust to stress, the addition of fear can wear down the body's ability to bounce back.
I think some of the negative effects of fear are people miss out on doing a lot of things that could make them have fun, and it could be a barrier to them missing out on opportunities they could do. And I think that when people have those fears, like, it causes a lot of anxiety and it just causes uneasiness in them, and then it can affect other people as well, because if you're afraid to do something, then that maybe makes somebody else not be able to do something they want to do because you're not willing to go do it.
I'm afraid of Cindy Pam because she's the most terrifying person in the world.
It is important to try to conquer fears because it can also restrain people from living the life they want. When fear is felt in harmless situations such as public speaking, it can help show the person that he or she is learning or improving their life in a certain way because they were courageous enough to go through with it.
How to overcome fears? Well, there's many ways to overcome fears. It all depends on what the fear is, but in any circumstance you would want to take small steps, step by step. You'd want to make sure that you don't want to go to one extreme. Like if somebody's afraid to go into a big crowd, they wouldn't want to just go to an amusement park right away. They might want to like go to a grocery store or go somewhere where there's just like a small group of people, and then build their way up gradually to get to go to bigger events with more people and more crowds that are there.
So in the end, after doing this project, I was able to overcome my fear of Cindy Pan, and we were able to make a really fun experience out of this. And don't let your fears hold you back.